Hello, Blitz fans of all ages. It's me, Plumcastle, here with a review on the Dreadnought. Now, big shout out to Sturm69 from my clan. He was the very reason I was able to do this, first of all, so big thank you to him. He was the one to supply the replays. And so, without any further ado, let's actually jump into the statistics of the tank. Now, as Sturm moves into position here, it's got 950 hit points, which is okay. Main armor, it's got 175 on the front, which for tier 6 is fairly decent in my opinion. Sides 90, in the rear 51. Of course, the rear of any tank is going to be low. Rear armor doesn't really matter unless you're concerned with HE. View range is 240, concealment is 27, while stationary, 16 while moving, and 6 while firing when stationary. So damage per minute is just over 2,000. Reload time is 8.82, which is fairly decent considering the fact that it has 300 average alpha for AP rounds, 260 for APCR, and 350 if you actually get the AG. Now, as far as penetration is concerned, it has 182 on the AP, it has 230 millimeters of penetration on the APCR, and it has 50 on the high explosive. Very nice numbers there. Now, the gun limit, now of course this is a tank non-turreted tank destroyer, so it can only wiggle its gun around in a very limited manner, but it can move the guns 7 degrees to each side, and as well it can move up 12, and it actually has 10 degrees of gun depression, which is actually really good, and you're going to see a few instances in these replays where that really comes into play. As you can see even here, he's able to use the gun depression, peek over the ridge, pull down, or rather not pull down, but bring his gun down and actually get some shots into those ARL-44. So very much with the fact that this has decent enough armor, from what it seems, it can do very well in some hold down positions, especially with that nice beefy alpha that it does carry. Now, average speed is not great. It's only 22. I believe it's 26 forward and 12 reverse. I believe those are the top, and on average it goes about 22 forward. Power to weight is 9.4. It's 44 tons. Most of the rest of the stats don't really matter a whole lot. So let's actually look at the actual play style of the tank. Now, of course, this is a tank destroyer. You're going to want to watch out for those people flanking around you, especially since you aren't screaming fast. I mean, you can see he can turn relatively fast, but any kind of fast light tank is going to be able to overrun him. Now, this is an absolutely amazing replay. So far, it does not look too good for his team. I mean, there's one guy left on his team other than him, and the other team has 2. Now, he's actually going to carry this, quick spoiler, but part of it is due to the fact that he has good damage per minute, some decent armor. He does get a few bounces here and there. However, you will notice in this instance that the ARL-44 with its massive penetration will still cut through the front of this tank, unless you're the ARL that's over to the right, which has it doesn't have the high penetrating gun, it only has the high alpha, which does not have anywhere, it probably doesn't even have enough penetration to get through with normal rounds, so he would have to resort to premium rounds. However, you can see this is going to be a very nice victory for him. It was one of the first games he played, and there you can see he cleared that ARL-44. Now, in this case, gun depression was key. Armor was very key in this instance because he was able to save his hit points, which is very crucial no matter what tank, but this really worked very well for him. The damage per minute, and he ended up with over 3,000 damage and a class 1. Honestly, I was a little bit surprised it wasn't an ace. It was actually fairly incredible, and also he even got a Kolobanov's, which is one hard, and that's just crazy. I'm not a fan of tank destroyers, but he really did pull that off and did a very good job at that. So now here is the second replay, and he is again platooning in this one. The PBR texture files on this quick side thing here is just looks really cool. I think the tank itself looks very interesting. Let me know what you think of it. Almost wish I had gotten it, but I can't get all of them, and it's still not one that I probably pull out very often, but still, it does look very interesting, and it's seems to be similar to the Churchill gun carrier, but of course with its own unique differences. For example, I think this has more armor. Now we're going to see another example of his gun depression being very, very useful here. He's coming along the side of the map that I usually don't go to. Not necessarily that it's a bad side. I don't play tank destroyers a whole lot, and especially on this map, I tend to go in a different location. But he really makes this position work for him, because some of the enemy reds have actually come to this location, and there is this gun depression, and he's going to be able to poke over the top, and there's his armor helping him with this hold down position. So he's barely poking out just to get the shots because of his incredible gun depression. And as well, his armor is bouncing most shots. In fact, I don't think he's taken a single hit yet from those enemies. That's just how good this whole tank can be in hold down against especially lower tier vehicles. Now, higher tier, you might have a little bit of a harder time. In ARL, with its incredible penetration, you might still have a hard time, but he's definitely making it work for him here, since he's only having to deal with lower tier opponents. And again, that gun depression can help get even slight shots like that. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of gun depression needed, but the fact that you have an abundance of it just makes it so much easier. Now, there was an unfortunate miss, I believe, but he is still going to get over 2,000 damage this game, which for tier 6 is entirely solid. I mean, I try to shoot for 2,000 in tier 8 most of the time, so 2,000 in tier 6 is definitely above par here. Now, I believe he's going to get another shot into the Stritzwagen here, and the damage per minute is just amazing. Now, I mean, there are higher damage per minute tanks in tier 6 even, but having 2,000 damage per minute can really help you, especially with the armor and gun depression. And he's going to get one more shot, which then pushes him over that 2,000 damage barrier, doing a very solid game there. And again, these were played by Sturm69. Big thank you to you. If you want to check out his channel, I'll leave a link in the description, as well a box in the upper right hand corner. So that is the Dreadnought. And so with that, I hope y'all enjoyed, and as always, have fun, good luck, and happy tanking.